You are listening to the 312 Squadron podcast. My name is Andrew Kouba.
My name is Nick Sperry.
My name is Eric Kingery.
And we are here to talk about two very exciting tournaments and a points tweak that came up as well. So we had the Studebaker Open in South Bend. Then we had a points tweak right before the Global Conquest Series, which is the culmination of our Conquest Series. And we are here today with the winner of the whole shebang. But before we go into the points tweak and the conquest, Nick, you had an incredible run at the Studebaker Open, and this is one of those rare in-person X-Wing tournaments that drew over 40, like about 40 people, which was pretty big enough too. So let's kick it off with starting there. What was your experience in that tournament?
No, that was a really fun event. That was the Studebaker Open was the largest system open in the United States. It had over 42 people. I think it was 43 people playing. In South Bend, Indiana, hosted by Joel Springle and his crew. They call themselves the Michiana Marauders. They got a good crew, steady crew of players over there. And yeah, it was a blast. I brought 3-ship Imperial Aces, including Vader Defender, standard loadout Whisper, and standard loadout Soontir, and basically mopped up a few of my games with that list. It was pretty filthy, a lot of fun, high stress in terms of just like your margin for error is pretty much relies on decision making and mostly just dice. Like if you get shot at, are you blanking out or are you rolling like an ace? And that was on my side.
100%. Yep.
But I 4-0 dropped. There was 5 rounds that day, but Matt and I we had plans and we didn't feel like staying the whole weekend. No offense to Indiana, but we didn't want to lose a whole weekend. So we just wanted to play 4 rounds no matter what happens. And so a lot of people messaged me like, "Oh, the 4-0 drop, what a Chad." I was like,
Yeah,
well, it is
exactly.
kind of funny. It was no matter what, I was gonna leave after 4 rounds, but I tried to win my games and it worked out.
For sure. Yeah, I was gonna say what a maneuver. Everybody saw that. Yeah, I brought a 3-ship list to the Alamo Conquest, and I feel you. Like whenever you're flying 3 ships, I'm happy that we're at a point where it can be viable, but you are living on a knife's edge every
Yeah.
turn.
I love that aspect of X-Wing. I've always been like a masochist when it comes to, but I also own it. Like I'm not over here like, oh, like why can't I roll like woe is me? And the tilt I think is more when you're blanking out and rolling poorly.
Yep.
I think there might be more tilt, but I asked for it. It's the list that I built, this list that you built for that.
Yeah,
Um,
for
it's
sure.
a good challenge for sure, but it can be
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and also, I mean, taking those like the SL suit-tiered whisper, like while it's possible, you got some protection there at least.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's going to be some similarities here. Pre-points, light points tweak versus post between
Mm-hmm.
Studebaker and Global that I want to talk about when it comes to list building. But I think the narrative, just a little spoiler to what we're going to talk about in a moment. The narrative that aces are not just back, but they're going to be a problem and they're going to dominate, I think might be a little too far fetched. I think
Yeah.
aces are viable again and can be really good, but the data and the insights from these two events alone kind of paint a different picture than you're just going to see just 3 and 4 ship lists just be all over the place in the top cut and top performers.
Yeah, I agree because you see in the top, like in the top 8, it looks like generic swarms are back on the table, which has not really been a thing in 2.5 yet.
Yeah, I mean it's there are 2 gauntlet lists with a ton of TIE fighters that finished top 8 at Studebaker. Which is fascinating to me.
Mhm.
A gauntlet plus a swarm. I don't think it ever been an archetype that anyone really considered. Maybe early 2.5 people tried like 4
Well,
ships in a
there
gauntlet, but
was the Sloan. It was the Sloan in the Gauntlet, and then Rack Sloan as well with all the TIE
I don't even
fighters.
remember that. The Sloan was it was playable in 2.5. I like just
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
remember
that
that.
was a 3-month window before Sloan
Okay.
was like effectively point banned.
Basically banned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, got it. Right. That was when the game was really mushy and kind of like undeveloped or developing still, right? Like really early on.
No, no, this was around, this is when you and I went to LVO in, 2023. So, I'd say, like, mid, like, this is right in the middle of 2.5.
Cuz I guess 2.5 came out in 2022, right?
Yeah, yeah, I feel that, yeah, 2022. I don't know, Eric, do you
Yeah.
remember Sloan ever being, when Sloan was the menace for a little bit?
No, I actually started playing in April of 23.
No way.
Good for you, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
seriously, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, so after Sloan,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've only played
post
2.5.
Sloan, yeah.
Yeah, you it's I actually really like when I hear stories like Jorge Castaneda's like, "Oh, I started playing X-Wing during COVID." Eric's like, I started playing in 2023." I
Yeah,
think those are time periods where X-Wing was in like a much more comfortable place to enter and to like bypass some of the things that were just really dumb about the game. I mean, Sloan was a thing obviously in 2020, but just it's kind of goes beyond NPE because I think people like use that as a, people don't take that word seriously, but it's basically a mechanic uh that makes the game just not really feel like both players are involved the way that
yeah.
they're supposed to be. And yeah, Sloan was definitely one of those like, hey, congrats, you're playing the game well, you're getting ultra punished and I'm getting all of the benefits.
I
And
mean, that's
that's
honestly what it
not
was. It's a mechanic that punishes your opponent for playing the game, like, as is. And for those of you that don't know, whenever, you destroy a ship, that's on Sloane's side, or like an
yeah,
Imperial ship,
0 to 3 of Sloan, I think. Yeah.
yeah, 0 to 3 of Sloane, you gain a stress token.
Two stress
Or 2
tokens
stress tokens,
and
right.
your opponent can re-roll an attack die when you're stressed. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be too stressed, just anytime you have a stress. So it's like, oh, that's like probably the most powerful crew in the game. I mean, I would
Yeah,
I'd
handing
say
out
Palpatine's up there, but
yeah, handing out panicked pilots,
yeah.
for destroying a ship is pretty bad.
Yeah, and AMG kind of foresaw, oh, this is going to be really really unfair with objectives, like even worse than it already is. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
kind of why she got the ban treatment, the points ban treatment for sure. But hey, yeah, I mean we can let's talk about maybe just like the top few lists. If you want to read out the winning list, NAES Nas, let's just say Nas, with the four ship scum list. What did he bring?
Nas came first and brought Ben Rao, Hanan, Talonbane Kouba, and Dengar. Custom Dengar in Custom
Yeah,
Fen.
custom Fen, clan training fearless, gamut key on Kanan. That's, hey, keep, like, let you keep your tokens. And I'll also reduce your attack dice coming in. Talonbane with burners is really nice. Finally, he can boost. He's not just sitting there hoping he gets a good shot lined up.
Yeah, before
Over
50
two to
points,
Dead
he's
Man's.
yeah
Say that again. Sorry.
before 50 points, he's just locked out of ever taking burns, if I think, if I
Yeah,
recall correctly.
exactly. And that ship being on the engine upgrade card has always been so amusing to me. It's been such a meme. It doesn't even have a boost, so that ship being on the engine upgrade always cracked me up.
Yeah.
Our Dengar at R5P8, which is basically um free rerolls, and if you roll a crit, you suffer a crit. Punishing one, of course, a blade of plating, contraband, Greedo, and notorious. That is just such a mean platform to deal with. Yeah, I could see that basically that list. You know, you pick your poison. Talonbane's probably the easiest to get off the board. Kanan, if you drain his force, he only has one.
And yeah, we've been seeing a lot of Talonbane, since the new points have been out, and even after the points tweak, so
But yeah, and let's why don't you do the next list, the runner up, bringing that gauntlet list.
yeah, so this is, Aaron Fernstall's list, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this is two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Wait, no, one, two, three, four, five, six. Yep, 7 Obsidian Squadron pilots with precision ion engines. And then this is a gauntlet fighter, just the Imperial Super Commando. So just the generic, all generic pilots all the way down with Grand Moff Tarkin in the crew, Mandalorian optics, Gar Saxon, Perceptive co-pilot, and a drop seat bay with and then just the regular swivel wing. I think drop seat bay and swivel wing are now just auto included. However, yeah, so I just all generics and a TIE swarm. But Grand Marf Tarkin allows friendly ships to acquire a lock on a ship that you have locked, so that gives a lot more punch to this TIE swarm. Essentially, kind of acting as a howl runner with like those rerolls. And then also Gar Saxon, when a friendly unit at range 1 to 3 with an initiative of 4 or lower performs an attack against a defender you have locked, you can change one of your eyeball results to a hit result. So that way you can use that on offense, even if you have to spend your focus token on defense, giving it a lot of survivability as well. So just a really cool design all around, just from those 2 crews.
I would have loved to have gone up against this list with mine. It would have been so interesting.
Oh, for sure.
It would just the challenge. There's so many bodies, but the HLC, the Soontir's ability, the Whisper's cloaking ability would have been. It would have basically been a dice race to see if I could get paper cut to death or if I could blow a ship up, each 1 or 2 ships a turn up,
Yeah,
and
that's really what you're
hope
banking
it goes
on.
my way. Right, right. Yeah. Oh, I got to read out number 3. I believe this is Doug Kenny, who's the first world champion of X-Wing. It was good to see him again at Studebaker. Doug is, I played him first round of Worlds this year. He also was the one that brought that amazing Lego Mos Eisley.
Trench
Is it Mos
run.
Espa
Or
or is it Eisley? Like it's Espa, isn't it? In Phantom Menace, where they do the pod racer. Anyways, he brought that in mock for the pod racing kind of mini game that X-Wing players
Most
can use their
Espa.
chips for. Yeah, it was Mos Espa. Okay. But he brought a Sabine with thread tracers in the A-wing, and then I think it's 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 generic Bandit Squadron pilot Z95s with cluster missiles.
Yep.
So again, banking on another way to bank on double mods. And thread tracer is really effective when you're shooting at a lower initiative because odds are maybe some of those tokens have been used up by
For
your opponent
sure.
by the time they get
Also,
shot.
also, you just have the potential for like a double tap there with the cluster missiles too, if they get it close enough. That's pretty gnarly.
It's pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so far these top 3 lists are probably not what anybody would have expected. I feel like someone would have been like, we would have maybe expected to see an Imperial list here, an Aces list. I certainly wouldn't call that Scum list an Ace list, even though it has a few high initiatives. It's not an AC list.
I was gonna say
Um,
we were
yeah.
close if you didn't do your drop. So
Yeah, yeah, right. I'd like to believe, yeah. I felt like I could have gone undefeated that day. Who knows? You never know with cut. But yeah,
yeah,
I was
exactly.
rolling, dude. It was like, oh, this is what it feels like to be Duncan. I was like, it was like, have you seen Limitless? That movie Limitless? It just felt
Yeah.
like it's like everything I'm doing. I'm like, oh yeah. Like, yeah, I got it. I figured it out. It was just luck had my side that day. It's kind of funny. I hadn't really played in much at all the last several months, and to kind of just jump back in, like I've played this game so many times, it just felt really good to not only get back in there, but I wasn't that rusty, which was nice. Like I just muscle memory kind of kicks in, I guess, after a while. And that's the first time I've ever played that SL Whisper.
Oh,
She's
so much
quite
fun.
quite crazy for sure.
Yeah. No, definitely one of, I mean, honestly, the SL Soontir and SL Whisper are 2 of my favorite ships to fly in the game, just how fun they are to move around the board.
The free boost is really really nice.
Yeah.
It's I always kind of feel like it's a gotcha because I forget I have it, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna boost. Like it's so good. Oh man. Dr. Dejarin will do our last read. Eric, if you want to read our top four finisher.
Yep. Yeah, Dr. Dejarin brought a triple arc list: Wolf with Ayala Sakura, Sinker with C3PO, Jag with Wolfpack, SL Click, and Stub with Prockets, dedicated and munitions failsafe.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's becoming pretty apparent that that Wolf is his duty is to focus, coordinate, or vice versa with Ayla Sakura's card ability. Basically, you get to focus, purple, coordinate. So he is a self sufficient support piece now with a really good ability and still a great platform, 3 attack, rear arc, etc., etc. So I don't love that for like it's just gonna the meta is the meta, and that's gonna be a thing that is at least for now we're gonna stick with is Ayla Sakura and Wolf. It's kind of seems like that's the only build that you should have on him. Um, I don't love an Arc 170 being able to do something like that personally, especially like if it was like a Sinker or Jag that did that, okay. But a Wolf is like, I don't know. He gets that free reroll and just it's a little goofy to me. But yeah, that's a thing. It's a thing that we will have for a while.
And it seems to be pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we still, including me, and I say we as if I'm speaking for all of you, but the Arc 170 hate is still very real because we had to deal with it for quite a long time. And it was just the 3 arc 6 ship Republic lists were just all over the place for quite a while. So I think now that they're costed appropriately, I think there's just some jadedness that I have and probably a lot of other people when it comes to those things. But at least you're gonna see less of the Siege of Coruscant stuff and just more custom. I believe all three of these, yeah, they are all the custom ones. They are. So that's good. The other point I wanted to make before we move over to Global Conquest is that Click, Siege of Coruscant Click is cheaper than custom Click, but he gets an extra shield. He gets R3 Precision 9 engines in ESC, so he doesn't get the best configuration. But this is another thing to keep an eye out for in the future. Not to say this maybe would change before Worlds, maybe after. But personally, I don't know if it makes a lot of sense that the one with the extra shield is cheaper.
Yeah, they gave the custom click 3 more loadout with the points tweak. I still like the cheaper one more.
Yeah, well, I mean, how much is shield upgrade, right? How many? 8, 9? Trying to remember.
10. Whole is 9.
10. Yeah, so give click give the other click 8 or 9 more loadout and we could have a conversation about it. But he's got the cheaper one's got a shield upgrade. And Click is just such a really interesting, well designed pilot in the game of X-Wing, is really, really strong support ability. But yeah, I just find it interesting that the cheaper one is objectively better with more health.
Yeah, if you want a bomb, you can take the higher cost one. I don't know if I want to pay an extra point for that rather than
Yeah,
put it into other ship.
right. Wouldn't you rather have the extra health and pay less? I would.
Yeah.
That's just maybe it's. I think a lot of us would probably be in agreement about that. But yeah, so overall, I just again shout out to Joel. Joel usually plays in almost every event he can possibly play in, and he did a great job as TO and as judge. Had a bunch of judge calls, and he's all over the place, but he did a really good job of just running the event. And they even made Studebaker cookies, which were delicious, like sugar frosted cookies with the Studebaker Open logo, which I thought was a really nice touch.
Oh, that's always fun.
So overall, just a great event. I think something to build off of for sure. It was good to catch up with some folks that the Midwest crew that I run into that come to our events sometimes and hang out with some friends.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also just good to have in-person large X-Wing tournaments coming back. I mean, that's, one thing that I always look forward to, especially with Worlds, but if we can just have like, more in-person opens. We have one in Chicago that's coming up in January too. Like as much as I love like the online tournaments getting to play all the time, I really have been missing those like in-person tournaments this year.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the most challenging, but also a very important part of the game to uphold and to try to nurture.
Yeah, absolutely.
The access to in-person play is just so much more obviously challenging than playing online, but it always feels a lot better when you drive to your local store, you drive across state lines or whatever to go to an event, you play, like, just feel like you're really doing something, going out and spending some time in a social setting playing this game that we all love. Um, it could feel a little bit more fulfilling than I think playing going through a slog of games online is, but there's no discrediting to the quality and importance of online play. It just you're not really moving around. You're not as active physically. So
Right, of course. Yeah, not to knock any other one, but I'm just saying that it's nice to have this large of an open, yeah, in person.
so for all you listening, if you are considering going to an in-person event, you should do it if you can. Try to make it happen, and we'd love to see you at Worlds, especially. That would be awesome. But hey, let's talk about our champion here. We do have our champion joining us for this episode. Eric, you got your invite at the end, kind of in the 11th hour, and I kind of love this. I when I say this, I mean it with respect. I felt like you were a little bit of an underdog in that master bracket, and I just thought it was awesome the way that you blew through, and I mean, and pretty much even at the end, kind of dominated with that list. So before we ask you about everything, I do want to congratulate you again. I'm going to let everyone know and remind folks about Conquest, what that was in a very quick spiel. This is our inaugural Conquest series this year. We basically wanted to host an online tournament every month from April to December with an invite system. Um, Plaques would go to the winners of each qualifier. We had across different time zones, and then we had a single elimination online event with those invitees, and Eric was the one who won it all. Eric, what was it like winning this thing? Is super impressive, man. It's a quite a field you have to play through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I went up against half my opponents had buys in the first round. Had to, yeah, a lot of tough opponents to go through.
Yeah, for sure. Just fighting the best of the best, like the entire way down.
Were you nervous at all? Like, did you like? I mean, you don't have to walk me through every single emotion that you were feeling, but like, did you feel confident in with your list and everything, or did you have any sort of outlook when you started playing?
Yeah, I felt I had plenty of practice with my list. I know that I could, I had the potential to make the top tables and win out. But of course, there's also a lot of luck. 6 round turn.
Yeah, would you say that your dice are pretty good, or did you not? Was it not like apparent enough where you're like, oh, like that was a really like wow, this is really it was really nice for me. Yeah, your games on stream. You were really doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, those last 2 rounds, I really had hot dice, I feel. Round 2 absorbed all my bad dice luck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had -8. My opponent has +4 in round 2.
Wow, and you still pulled out the win. Like that's
Yeah,
impressive.
Well, I mean, we're talking about your list. What way you tell us what your list was?
Yeah.
And why did you bring these pieces? What'd you like about them, etc.
yeah. I brought custom Soontier with Crackshot and Predator, Boy ID, Mouse Monair, Fair-Off with Targeting Computer and Palp, and Obsidian Squadron Pilot with Pi. So triple interceptor list with Fair-Off for Palp support, and then a small objective runner, pot shotter. I really like this list for its maneuverability and being able to get places opponents can't predict with those pre-move repositions, especially the overdrive one on mouse.
Oh yeah, I always forget about outmaneuver. I mean, when I've played him, I don't often get it off, but like, wow, what a bonus!
Yeah,
Also, this is your list is the one that I copied into the same tournament as well. Another aspect that I love about this list is its ability to mitigate damage.
yeah, 3 very defensive interceptors with Palp can be very frustrating for opponents to chew into.
I'm thinking about Fair-Off, and for a long time, Fair-Off wasn't allowed to be the Palp carrier. It was Vizier. If you wanted the worst ability, but to get Palpatine, you took Vizier. Now, Farov having Palpatine is you know, I, it's really it's interesting to me because when XWA first started its beta points push, it was kind of behind the idea that Palpatine should be in larger ships like Decimators and shuttles, Imperial shuttles. And here we are kind of back to the Reapers taking Palpatine. But Farroth is a dream come true for a Palpatine carrier because of his defensive ability. Do you feel like when you're flying Farroth in your lists that you just peel him and away and disengage him for a couple of rounds, Eric? Because I noticed on your games on stream you were more willing to have him kind of in the fight, but Andrew, on the other hand, Andrew would kind of have him re-engage but start disengaged. What was your thought process with how you would fly your
It
palp
kind of
carrier?
varied from game to game. Like if the opponent set up heavy across from Faroff, I'd usually run away for a round or two and then come back in. You don't want to lose Faroff too early, but you also don't want to leave the gun out of the fight too long. So you often want to try bring Faroff in while they're starting to turn away from Faroff and chase after your other ships if you can. And like you said, with Faroff and Palp, that's one of the first things I saw with the 50 points. I saw Faroff could fit Palp and started building around that.
Yeah, so I'm curious too, because the reason why I took your list was I flew against it in the Alamo Conquest, and I was just really impressed with how it worked. And that was the one where I was bringing my three ace list, but after I failed to do really any damage the first engagement, couldn't find a way to come back in, just because of how defensive like this list was. You said that Faroff was the first piece to build around. How did you come across then all the other pieces?
I started out with a, the first list I came up with in 50 points was had Faroff, Custom Soontir, Juno, and Riyadh. I kind of I did like a test game or two. Didn't kind of like how Riyadh wasn't feeling like he did enough, and I went searching around for options to split it into. And I saw Mouse at 11. I already liked Mouse before 50 points, and I I think on the initial pass of my way through the points, I didn't notice 11-point item. But I tried out, then I switched to Juno and Riyadh for Mouse, Iden, and the tie. And I started really liking how the list flew.
Yeah, for sure. And it took you all the way to the championship. Just absolutely
Yeah, I'd
incredible.
say it worked out if you ask me.
Yeah.
Took me to top 16, not to, toot my own horn, but
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say Eric just wasn't hitting obstacles.
oh god, I mean, yeah, I don't need to dwell on it too much, but the so my first two games were
Yeah, you had a great run.
amazing.
You deserve a shout out for that, by the way. I'm sorry that we didn't shout you out.
No, no, fair enough. No, it's all good. The game on stream was by the second most embarrassing stream game I think I've ever had. So to everyone else out there, if you're ever worried about being on stream, it's okay. Even experienced players can have just atrocious games in front of everybody.
Did
And
you feel like the
I'm
stream
still here.
affected your choices, or like were you worried about playing on stream, or because I'm always as the streamer. Sorry, I'm adjusting my microphone real quick. As the streamer, I sometimes hear like like about people's the psychology behind them feeling pressured or just overthinking everything when they play on stream. Did you was that in your head a little bit that like people are watching me or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a compounding effect. After the first bump, then I was like, "Oh, great, everybody, like saw that." Honestly, I don't think it was just for me being on stream. It was more going up against like Joel's list and Joel himself because he's a really good player, and I think I just put extra pressure on me to like be on point, and I just wasn't like thinking through my moves as well as I could have.
And Joel's list is, I think it's a tougher list for the Interceptor list to go up against too,
Hmm.
with 5 dice from Ben and Boba and Dengar being able to reduce screens with Notorious and Boba.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
that was a tough matchup. That kind of reminds me of the list that I brought to Studebaker just in terms of how mean it is. Like it also has a lot of, punch you really hard and you're gonna feel bad kind of potential. Um, it's less maneuverable, but it's also like, well, I don't. Who cares if I need to be maneuverable if I can just blow you up real quick? So
Sure.
that's
And
kind of the vibe of that list, and he blew you up.
yeah, and also too, yeah, like picking a ship and being and saying, hey, you roll one less defense and offensive dice. I reached out to Eric when because he then had to face Joel right after me, so Joel played the exact same list twice, and so immediately reached out to you, Eric, to be like, hey, like how did you tackle it? How did you beat it? So yeah, I guess when you come up against like a list like that, if you wouldn't mind sharing like some of that feedback because it was super insightful for me.
Yeah, I told you. I think that my game against Joel really came down to blocks on his ships to reduce damage output, and also getting a few jams off with fair off. Like block on Dengar, he only had shots against a block ship, so that's just 2 dice rather than 4.
Yeah, the punishing one, none of that works at range 0. It's always
Yeah,
really handy to get that block in for sure.
Yeah.
Joel had a great run. We had our top 4, which is this global conquest. We had people from all around the world in the top 4. We had Polish player Eric, you're to the States. We had a Brazilian player, and then we had a Canadian player as well in our top 4. And I think that's really really cool. I mean, that's the goal, is to try to, even though our time zone wasn't the most accommodating, the commitment from people like Oscar Ice, who was a runner up, is commendable for sure. Felipe as well. And of course, the easier time zone to deal with. Andrew Oler, our 2-time champion, suffered at the hands of Eric, and probably one of the most whiplash type swings that I've ever witnessed. We had what felt like tonally Andrew with a slight advantage, and then all of a sudden the bottom, it was like the floor was made of glass, and it just shattered and he just fell. And you scored, I think, 21 points in the second to last round. He conceded. I mean, it was really remarkable. You were able to get a really crucial block on his Gideon,
yeah, with fair off.
multiple 2 turns in a row with fair off. Um, and it just, I feel like it all fell apart for him from there. Walk me through playing against Oler, because it started off a little hairy, right? Because Mouse was kind of just
Yeah, I turned
left
mouse
to
in because
joust.
I didn't think he would turn so many ships towards through those obstacles, which he
Yeah,
ended up, I think, getting punished for, because the next round 2 of his ships were sitting on rocks, and then then the following rounds, Gideon was just sitting on the gas cloud.
yeah, he had shown a willingness to eat the obstacles, and then it ended up kind of working against him uh, as well, as you were able to block him. Kind of talking out of order here, but Andrew, would you break down Oscar's list? He was the runner up who played against Eric in our final table. Really, talk
Yeah.
about another interesting swarm generic list, Rebels.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, Oscar making it all the way to second place with these really fun generic swarm lists. I think we can say that. First, we have Arvel Crin or Sirin Crinid.
I say Crinid, but
I say Crinid, yeah, I guess. Arvel Crinid in the A wing, and it's the SSP one, the intro kit. So it just has Predator and Afterburners. Afterburners on A Wing, always fun. And then after that, we have 6 Gray Squadron bombers with dorsal turret and an R4 astromech.
so he did amazingly well with this list.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was not a friendly matchup for him going up against Eric's list, but the biggest thing was turn 0. He was setting up his bombers first before the I3s on Eric's side, and he left 3 of them on the other side of the board, opposite side of the rest of his list. And Eric just went full blast, into those Y-wings and hit them really, really hard. And Oscar couldn't really respond, and the game kind of continued to slowly slip away from him, despite his good objective play. He was just taking mountains of damage. Eric, at one point, you did, I think, 16 unanswered points of damage. Like he didn't. It took 17 damage before he did one to you. That's pretty
Yeah.
remarkable and really bad if you're on the receiving end of that kind of luck. But walk me through your thought process. You saw him place those three ships. Was it pretty clear right away? Oh, I need to go as fast as possible and kind of
Yeah, I want to
suffocate him a little
rush
bit.
one side before he could join up and get more fire concentrated on my interceptors.
Did you feel like you had that game, like that this was your game to lose from the get-go, like it felt for us watching? Or obviously you never take anything for granted, but
Yeah, once I got that first bomber down, kind of felt that way.
what'd you think about the matchup? Was this a list that scared you at all? Obviously it's a lot of ships. Um, but was this, when it comes to the potential to face one of the other lists that could have made it instead of him, did you have a preference? Did you even think about that at the time?
Yeah, all those 180-degree arcs can be pretty scary if you start blanking out on your greens. I'm glad I didn't have to play against the fourth place CIS list with Sunfac though.
Yeah, we saw that on stream too. Yeah, I mean, I'll just really quickly read off the those other two finishers, and then Andrew, I'll have you chime in as well. But um, we talked about Andrew Oler. He placed number 3. He had 2 Xi shuttles. This is very 2.0-y, as Andrew had mentioned. Yes, was it yesterday that we streamed? 2 days ago? 2 days ago. No, yes, 2 days ago. Mentioned that it feels like a 2.0 list. He's had 2 Xi shuttles, Malorus with Agent Terex, Biohexcrypt, and Fanatical, and Gideon Hask the Xi with the targeting computer, Phasma, and Fanatical. A lot of control, and then forced rerolls for the Epsilon Squadron cadets, in which there were 4 of them, as well as Lieutenant Rivas with Pattern Analyzer. So basically, you just send everybody into a block. Everyone gets double mods, higher agility, decent amount of health. Not easy to beat. But on
It's
paper, it
classic.
doesn't seem super scary. Like that's a lot of ships, but like there's no Kylo, there's no Von Reg, there's no there's no quick draw, there's none of these like usual suspects that I think a lot of people have like been trained to deal with and fear.
Yeah.
Instead, this list is like, let me just like slash it, like just kind of slash away at you, little paper cut, and
These are the grunts.
yeah,
This is
these
the
are the
first
grunts.
order. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Andrew, what do you think of this list?
Oh no, I mean, I, as someone who flew uh generic swarms in 2.0, I am really happy to see that they're coming back. I think it's just been it is such a core part of the X-Wing game. This is something that we like usually see like one Xi shuttle. To see 2 in there is fun. And I think that, even on stream we saw the power that just having generic that can reroll dice can be.
Yeah, the list used to be called malware. That was the type of
That's a
archetype.
fun
It
one.
was yeah, it was just one Xi shuttle with like 5 generic TIE fighters. Um or maybe it was 6. I think it was 5. Can't remember. But that was generally it was Malorus and a bunch of ties, get all the rerolls, etc. So kind of cool. Like I do enjoy kind of these little like nostalgia trips that are like coming back here in this developing meta that are
Yeah.
good. It's like I feel like we're getting a little bit of the quote unquote best of both worlds, with like some 2.0 vibe type lists and some 2.5, and then this like XWA middle ground that has been birthed, that's been created, which is cool. We have a 5-ship CIS list that finished 4th. This is Felipe's list. Sunfac with Elusive, Predator, and Ensnare. Grievous is outmaneuver, Impervium plating, and Solus 1. DBS 404 with plasma torpedoes, proton bombs, landing struts. DBS 32C, another Hyena droid bomber with energy shell charges. Kraken, keep those calculates around. You got to have the Kraken carriers somewhere. Struts, and then DFS 311 pass the calculates with Discord missiles, independent calculations, and grappling struts. Yeah, that would have been a really fascinating matchup for you, Eric. Sunfac and Grievous really keep you honest versus the Gray Squadron bombers. The way they keep you honest is just if you're getting shot at 4 or 5 times. That's just law of averages would keep you honest. But you know, I think that would have been a definitely more difficult matchup probably for your list, just because Sunfac is throws a wrench into a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't like flying in Sunfac with them.
Sunfac is yeah, he's tough to deal with. At least he can't get thrown onto obstacles anymore. That was what made him even worse. I know some people really want to see that come back. I don't know why. Like
The
Tractor
Nantex
is good
swarms?
enough. No, the move. Let me tractor you on obstacles
Yeah,
again.
that's what the Nantex swarms did. No, I don't think anyone wants to see that come back.
Yeah, well, people who like doing it.
Okay, a small handful of people for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. But it's just Tractor's just so strong and it just feels so bad when you get
Oh, for
tractored.
sure.
Oh, it's
Like, not
permanent.
only do you get moved out of position, but then you're rolling one less defense
Yeah,
die too. Yeah,
yeah, and
brutal.
maybe they don't even move you, and you're still just rolling one less defense. Like that's enough. You don't need to throw me on an obstacle too.
For sure.
Man. Trend wise here, early trends. Rebels, Empire, and Republic make up the top three. That is basically what Worlds was like. Similar, just in terms of those top three being the most popular. Um, so I think that's kind of not unsurprising. There's always been good factions.
Yeah.
Rebels, I think maybe is the biggest surprise, only because there was a lot of chatter, the way too early reactions from people being like, "Oh, I don't think Rebels are in that very good of a place." But a lot of people brought them for the Global Conquest. They clearly felt confident enough with that faction to bring it for a really important event, a very competitive one. And Rebels, in terms of performance, were right there, middle of the pack. But squad size, 5 ship lists, 31%, 4 ship lists, 49% of the field. And then we had 6 ship and 7 ship lists making up just a combined like 7%. But like we saw in Studebaker and like we're seeing here, the top performers are all larger ship count lists or consist of a decent amount of those types of lists. Eric, of course,
Yeah.
he brought a 5 ship. Um, but yeah, I mean, Studebaker had a bunch of 7 or 8 ship lists in the top cut, and we saw a little bit of variety here for the Global Conquest. But number two, number three, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then yeah, 2 7 ship lists.
Yeah, for sure. Also, we're seeing a convergence around I-5. I-5 seems to be kind of where the initiative distribution is.
Shout out, yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt. I want to shout out Isaac Kenny, who was number 8, who brought an Empire list with Duchess. I like love that target computer Tiber Saxon and outmaneuver. That I miss Duchess. I used to play Duchess a lot in 2.0. Kind of a fragile platform for a more expensive i5, but clearly it worked for him. He played really well. He had Karsabi, Jendon, Death Rain, and Duchess in a 4 ship Imperial list. Eric, how did you feel about the Conquest series overall? Did you played in a few of them, right? And we appreciate you participating.
Yeah, I played in 3. Yeah, they had tough competition. Of course, the 3 I played in that weren't a global, I faced several all 3 times. Lost him
Yeah,
twice, beat him once.
yeah. I mean, Sevall is he's really good. We've had him on the show before.
He was the champion of
The first one,
the
Windy
first
City.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the other thing, is that we had like Illy and Sevwall were 2 people, and Jorge with that had earlier exits in this. It just goes to show I'm always personally a big fan of unpredictability when it comes to these things. If all of the people who advance, it's like, oh, that's not a surprise. That's not a surprise. Like it's doesn't create as much of a story. I'm not cheering against people like Sevwall or Oler or Jorge, but it's just like I just thought it was really cool that it was Oscar Ice, who is probably the best player in Poland. Just a lot of people in the U.S. just don't know as much about those player communities as they know their own. And Eric, um, and Oscar, neither of them won a conquest, and Andrew Oller was in the top four. Is the only one. I think even the top eight, he was the only one that had won a conquest. Period. That had made it that far. So I'm a fan of that, just from a content perspective and just entertainment. That we got some upsets pulled, we got some unpredictability in the bracket, and Eric, we did a bracket challenge. 48 people entered it who would have the closest to perfect bracket, and not only did you win the global conquest, but you also won the bracket challenge, which was just I just shipped all your stuff today. I was just really amused by that.
Yeah, betting on yourself.
Yeah, I made it easier to ship. I'm like, I'll just put everything in one package. There you go. But I just the odds of that happening, it's just very funny to me. Just the way that happens. So congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
Always good to bet on yourself, though.
Yeah. Well, uh, honestly, couldn't have asked for a better event. I'm tired. I'm I'm happy that everything went as smoothly as it did, from a TO and streaming perspective. Um, it was pretty easy, surprisingly, not a lot of issues. I had my soapbox about some of the turnout for some of the events, but we're making some adjustments to try to meet the demand where it is, but still offer these sorts of high level and fun, online tournaments, because I think it's really important that we continue to do that. The
Yeah.
leagues are really great, but they don't really scratch that itch. They're just so different than this sort of vibe. So
Yeah.
we want to. We're glad that we were the ones that were able to offer that, and we're going to do it again. We're just gonna do it, 4 times, including a global, and, we will have a global. I said we won't, but I've changed my mind. We will have a global conquest. We'll have 5 conquests, including that next year.
Oh, that's exciting. I was gonna say, yeah, I didn't do anything to help out with the conquest except for just play in it and then talk about it on this podcast. But Nick, yeah, thank you so much for putting it together. I know it's a ton of work and effort, and also I want to give a shout out to Steven for also helping out and stepping in because he did an incredible job, and then also did a great job with commentary too.
Yeah, Steven's been a godsend. He was, especially for this, he helped set up the roll better with me, did the challenge bracket. He loves doing that stuff, and it was incredibly valuable help. So thank you, Steven, for everything that you do, and what a bright part of the community that he has been and continues to be. We're lucky to call him a local as well.
Yeah,
We get to play with him at our game store. Um, Matt Carey, and kind of an unsung hero behind getting those trophies made. He took the initiative to just get that done, and he's like, "Hey, just send me these assets, and I'll take care of it." And so he worked with Andrew Knuckles to make those beautiful Conquest Champion plaques. um, Kester Smith from XWA helped provide the art assets to get those put on the acrylic. So I also want to give those two shout outs as well. I think having that hardware that you can send people when they win. And Eric's got the most valuable one. Suck it, Andrew Oler and everyone else. But like, I think that just adds so much more to the quote unquote like legitimacy of these sorts of things, because there's a small entry fee. We're raising money, and we're doing some cool paint jobs and stuff. The themed paint jobs are fun, but it's still like it still feel like you got to have some sort of tangible thing for the winner. And those trophies were. I remember walking around with them at Worlds, showing them off, and everyone's like, "Ooh, ah!" Like they're beautiful.
they're
Like
gorgeous.
I'm
Yeah,
excited to get those made again for next year.
really nice like lucite or like glass like plaques, and yeah, no, they look really pretty.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm like I got to rig one of these or find a way to keep. Well, I want one of those. I'm like, man.
Best tournament
Yeah.
organizer.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. I'll put it's like the Obama meme and putting the medal on Obama,
Yeah,
like something like that. Yeah, I could
100%.
win the FIFA uh, Conquest Peace Prize, perhaps. Too soon, too soon. But yeah, I mean Yeah, it was. I was always like, you know that they're nice when you're like, man, I kind of want that, and I'm the
Right?
one that
Yeah.
had these made, and I'm sending them out and running this. I'm like, I want one. So Eric, you've played in team league for multiple seasons. You've played in draft league for multiple seasons. You played in conquest for multiple conquests. Um, but we met and you had the unfortunate kind of situation where you had to stay with me and deal with my driving and it being at our Airbnb during Worlds. We met in person for the first time this earlier this year. You know, what are your thoughts? Do you usually play any in person X-wing consistently, or was Worlds kind of a special circumstance for you to have that opportunity?
Sadly, there isn't that much in-person X-wing in my area. I live in a kind of rural area in Pennsylvania. Yeah, there's one other X-wing player like 15 minutes away, and then the next closest ones are over an hour away. So kind of don't get in person much.
Does it feel like you did pretty well at Worlds, but did it feel difficult to transition from like you because you just kind of have no choice but to play a lot of online to now playing in person at like a high level event? Did that feel difficult to make that transition?
I don't think it was that difficult, but um,
That's good. I feel like for me it'd take a while to get used to the differences. Maybe it's easier if you go from online to in person, but going from predominantly in person to online, it took me a while.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it can be hard.
I will say though, I am happy I did it because I believe that has definitely made me a much better player in person.
It's I haven't played on Tabletop Simulator in quite a while, but it is such a valuable tool for players, but for us to continue to give content to the community for games. Um, I mean, we can't setting up an in person stream is so laborious. It's not something we can do all the time. Um, and so it's very nice that we get to have tabletop and to be able to do online X-wing. It's so normalized. It looks good. It's like second nature. It's like X-wing exists in this realm of in person and online all at once, all at the same time, and we do both. And like I I appreciate that. It's not just an in person tabletop game anymore. Well, anybody have anything else to say about either of these events?
I'm just gonna say it was an absolute pleasure playing in the ones that I did, and it's been an exceptional experience for me. So, and it's been so much fun talking with Eric and all of the other champions too throughout this entire process. So, thank you everyone who I've had a chance to talk to or play with throughout any of these tournaments, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all back out there in the team leagues and in more tournaments as well.
Eric, anything from you, my friend?
yeah, I had a lot of fun playing in the conquest that I was able to attend.
Yeah, thank you, and congratulations again for a great run all the way to the top.
Yeah, I hope I can make Worlds, though. It's looking like scheduling issues with work might make it difficult.
Well, yeah, we hope you can make it. The event previews just went live on Adepticon. You can take a look at what the X-wing events are going to look like. We already kind of spoiled what they are. No shocks or surprises there, but pretty soon you're going to be able to register and pick your events. We will, of course, at XWA will remind everyone of that. A little later than I'm used to Adepticon doing it, though. I find that it's to be interesting that it's all of this is happening later than they usually offer in terms of registration. But I think that's why people were like unsure what we were going to be doing at Worlds, just because Adepticon hadn't said anything about any of their events. But now that's coming, so keep your eyes peeled for that. In other news, I am gonna put you on the spot, Andrew. You had a kind of a big moment happen for your life. Exciting. If you want to talk about it, and if you can just say
Yeah.
no, and then people can only speculate if you say no. But what happened yesterday?
Yeah, no, thank you so much. So, I got engaged, and
Woo!
yeah, to my partner, and we've been together for 8 years, and I got to propose to her at the bus stop where we met, and so we had her best friend come down from Madison to take pictures, and one of her sisters was there, She was absolutely surprised, which was great. And then we had a nice dinner with her family, which she was also surprised by too. So yeah, I am now a fiance.
Have you guys already started calling each other fiance? Are you ready for that?
Yeah,
Is it already
no,
second nature?
we definitely have.
Nice. That's exciting.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
congratulations.
I'm excited to
thank
announce that
you.
I am not engaged. Just kidding.
Well,
That's awesome, man.
once you're with your partner for 8 years, then you can start thinking, hey, maybe
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
serious.
You guys, I think you could argue that you maybe got to know each other before making
Right.
this.
Yeah. So I think we're pretty sure that
Yeah,
this is where we're
it's the
going.
right decision. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And we've lived with each other too. So we're like, okay, like we've been with each other for all of our moments now that we can cohabitate. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Another thing that I feel compelled to mention that's not to kill the mood and also a little unrelated, but um, I'm very saddened about Rob Reiner passing
Oh my
away.
gosh. Yeah.
So watch Princess Bride when you get the chance. Pour one out for him and his family and um, his wife. It's just awful what happened the other day, but a lot of I think overall Andrew and I in 2026 with the podcast are going to look to expand on talking about X-Wing, but maybe have some one-off episodes where we kind of just talk about stuff. So I think that would be a cool thing to do. Not all the time, but I think here and there we have enough to talk about, and I think enough people might be interested in a few minutes of that we might explore that. Yeah, that's another thing. Just looking ahead that I'm looking forward to doing is maybe expanding our podcast just a little bit, not going too crazy or anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, gentlemen, that's gonna conclude this year's the final podcast of the year. As this is our holiday episode. Um, whatever you guys are celebrating, whether it's Hanukkah, whether it's Christmas, if you're not celebrating anything, if it's Kwanzaa, etc. Happy holidays. Get yourself a Starbucks Red Cup. Um, angrily tweet about it if you want to. Stay warm, stay cool if you're in a tropical setting, but it is cold here in Chicago. I
Mm-hmm.
will be celebrating Christmas in Sonoma, California, though, so at least things will be warming up. Eric, I assume in Pennsylvania, it's really cold as well, right?
Yeah, about 16 Fahrenheit right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's time. It's gonna be stay indoors time. So,
Yeah. To all of our friends south of the equator as well, stay cool. Hopefully it's not
yeah,
heating up too much then. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I know all the climate's all over. Um, but yeah, it's been this is our 35th episode. Over 2 years of doing the podcast. Andrew, you've done an awesome job, kind of keeping this together and
Oh,
managing
thank
it and
you.
producing it.
You've done an
Um,
awesome job with all of the community engagement that you do. So,
thank you.
no, I
Appreciate that.
appreciate it.
It's yeah, it's we are an important part of the X-Wing community. I think just being honest with ourselves, it's I take that seriously, and um, I've a casual dad gaming. I want to give him a shout out because he gave us a really nice shout out about being able to stream Worlds and how much he loves our podcast. Andrew, I've been meaning you to send you that video that he made, but the beginning of the video is him just talking about us
Oh my
and how much
gosh.
he enjoys the podcast. And so I just thought that was really sweet. So you guys should check out his YouTube channel. He does really good X-Wing coverage at a time where we just don't have as many people doing X-Wing coverage anymore. So
Yeah,
definitely give him some love as well. And
for sure.
lastly,
Thank you so much. Yeah. If you're listening, I really appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah, I'll send that with you. Um, lastly, thank you to all of those who support us on Patreon. We've grown our Patreon immensely. It's been a humbling and really incredible experience to see so many people jump on and support us and believe in the mission that we have for the game of X-Wing. If you want to support us over there and get some cool swag, we're about to send out some really awesome stuff in the mail. You can. We appreciate it. But thank you all so much for listening to 35 episodes of the 312 Squadron podcast. We're super hyped to continue making more, and we hope you have a great holiday season. My name is Nick Sperry.
I'm Andrew Kouba.
And I'm Eric Kingery.
and we are signing off. 2025 over and out.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
And Happy New Year.